Smoke choked the horizon, painting the shattered city in twisted reds and grays. Commander Elias Vorn gritted his teeth as his shuttle shuddered under the impact of falling debris. The sensors were frantic, screaming alarms, but he ignored them. Somewhere beneath the rubble, a faint pulse flickered, a distress signal. Human or alien, he didn't know. He had no choice. He acted. The shuttle skidded along the cracked pavement, sparks flying as metal scraped against the ruins. Elias's heart pounded. He could see the remnants of buildings crumpled like paper, streets fractured and steaming. Silence hovered in the air, but he knew it was a trap. The alien overlords wouldn't leave survivors behind by accident. He had seconds. Every instinct screamed at him to retreat, yet the signal drew him forward, deeper into the devastation. Then he saw it, movement under the rubble. A small shape, glowing faintly, wriggling as if struggling to breathe. Elias slammed the shuttle to a stop, leapt out and tore debris aside. A tiny creature emerged, no larger than a child, its skin shimmering with colors he didn't recognize. Eyes like liquid silver stared up at him, unblinking but intelligent. It made a sound, a vibration that resonated through the shuttle's hull, almost musical, almost pleading. Elias felt something tighten in his chest, a strange empathy he couldn't explain. Before he could react further, a distant rumble shook the ground. Dust poured from the crumbling skyline as a larger shadow moved above, an alien patrol scanning the area. Panic hit. Elias grabbed the creature, shielding it with his body, and sprinted toward the shuttle. The pulse of its glow intensified, casting long, trembling shadows across the broken streets. He barely made it inside, slamming the hatch just as alien searchlights swept past. The shuttle's systems flickered to life, displaying the creature's holographic pulse. Lines and points formed a map, leading to a location beyond the destroyed city. Elias frowned. It made no sense. He had no way of knowing if it was a trap or a guide, but something about the precision suggested intelligence. A choice pressed against him: stay and scavenge for more survivors, or follow this strange being into unknown danger. His decision was made without hesitation. Survival for both depended on trust, and he trusted humans first, instincts second. Engines roared as the shuttle lifted off, weaving between skeletal towers. The creature wriggled in his arms, its silver eyes now reflecting the flickering lights of the ruined city below. Elias could feel a pulse against his palm, a rhythm almost like a heartbeat. Somehow he knew it was trying to communicate, though its language was alien, and yet he understood urgency. The galaxy had been brutal, but courage demanded action. A sudden vibration in the shuttle threw them both off balance. Alarm lights flashed. On the main screen he saw them, alien drones, sleek and silent, gliding like hunting birds through the ruins. They had detected him. Elias swore under his breath. His mind raced. He had seconds to make a decision. Firing at the drones would reveal his position further, but evading meant flying blind into collapsed streets. Then he remembered the creature. Its glow intensified as if reacting to the threat. With a sharp breath, he guided the shuttle along a narrow alley, following the creature's subtle cues. It moved its small limbs in patterns he interpreted as directions. Somehow this fragile being was guiding him. Elias's heart hammered with equal parts fear and awe. Could a creature this small possess such instinct, such awareness? He had fought countless battles, survived countless odds, yet nothing had ever made him feel this simultaneous terror and hope. Each twist of the shuttle between crumbling structures brought them closer to the edge of the city. Every second mattered. One wrong move and both would die. Finally, the street opened into a courtyard, partially shielded by collapsed walls. Elias landed the shuttle in a cloud of dust, heart racing. The creature scrambled from his arms and landed lightly on the ground. It emitted a series of pulses, this time sharper, urgent. Holographic projections flickered in the air, forming symbols and images Elias had never seen. One shape stood out, a hidden doorway deep beneath the ruins. Without hesitation he grabbed a compact pack and followed it. As he approached the doorway, a sudden tremor shook the ground. The walls groaned and shifted. Debris threatened to bury them both. Elias's instincts kicked in. He lunged, yanking the creature to safety just as a massive beam of rubble slammed where they had been moments before. Heart pounding, he crouched beside the creature, brushing dust from its luminous skin. It looked up at him, its glow steady now, almost approving. A distant echo vibrated through the ruins, alien engines returning, faster this time, closer. Elias's mind raced. The creature's map had led them here, but to what? He glanced down at it. Its eyes seemed to hold a warning, a promise, and a challenge all at once. His finger hovered over the hatch release. The next choice would change everything. A metallic screech cut through the air, and the courtyard door slowly slid open by an unseen force. Elias froze. Whatever lay beyond that threshold was no ordinary ruin. He felt the pulse of the creature against his chest as if urging him forward. One step and they would cross into a world that might answer questions he hadn't yet dared to ask, or deliver them straight into new danger. Elias took a slow breath, gripping the creature tightly. He stepped forward, and the doorway yawned wide, swallowing light and revealing something moving inside, something alive, something that was waiting for them. The pulse quickened. The creature's glow flared brighter. And somewhere in the darkness, a low, resonant hum began, filling the air with tension that promised both revelation and peril. Elias swallowed hard. He had survived the genocide. He had found a survivor. But he knew deep down that the real fight was about to begin. Elias stepped into the doorway, the air thick with dust and a faint metallic tang. The corridor beyond was narrow, walls scarred from explosions, yet strangely preserved as if untouched by time. The creature scuttled ahead, its glow flickering like a tiny beacon, guiding him deeper into the shadows. Every step echoed, magnified in the silence, and Elias's pulse matched the rhythm of the luminescent being in his arms. The ruins around them whispered of a past too cruel to forget. Suddenly, a metallic clang rang out behind him. Elias spun, heart hammering, but saw nothing, only a wall cracked and smoldering from the earlier bombardment. Instinct screamed, someone or something had followed them. He gripped a compact pulse rifle and pressed forward, careful not to alarm the creature. Its eyes reflected in the dim light, unblinking, intelligent, as if understanding the weight of what was about to come. The corridor opened into a wide hall, and Elias's sensors picked up movement, drones. Alien scavengers, sleek and silent, patrolling the area. The ruins were no longer just empty, they were crawling with predators waiting for prey. He ducked behind a collapsed wall, breathing shallowly, and studied their patterns. There were too many for a direct fight, yet abandoning the creature was unthinkable. His mind raced, seeking a solution. Every human instinct, honed over years of survival, screamed at him. Think, act, survive, but ethically. He noticed the creature emitting a series of quick pulses, almost like Morse code. Following its lead, Elias noticed a faint vent along the far wall. Carefully, he guided the shuttle-sized drone past the alien patrols using the creature's subtle signals. Every narrow escape built tension, every heartbeat a reminder of the cost of hesitation. When they finally emerged into a collapsed atrium, Elias allowed himself a brief moment of relief. The alien drones had passed, but he knew this calm would not last. Elias crouched beside the creature, brushing rubble from its shimmering body. Its glow softened, almost like a sigh of relief. For a brief moment, he allowed himself to imagine a world where survivors might exist, where humanity could rebuild. Then the echo of distant engines shattered that illusion. Alien warships were returning, faster, more precise. They had located activity in this sector. Elias's chest tightened. Time was no longer on their side. He realized the map the creature had shown him earlier was more than a guide, it was a warning. Every pulse now corresponded to the shifting dangers ahead, a language of survival. Elias's eyes narrowed. He had to move, but moving blindly would be suicide. He scanned the hall, spotting an old maintenance hatch partially hidden under rubble. Without hesitation he pried it open. The creature slipped through first, its light illuminating a narrow tunnel leading downward. Elias followed, heart racing with anticipation and dread. The tunnel led to a hidden sublevel, walls lined with forgotten technology, human relics, evidence of resistance cells thought obliterated during the genocide. Screens flickered with static and rows of armored crates hinted at weapons long abandoned. Elias's breath caught. This place was a treasure trove, proof that humanity had not been entirely erased. His pulse quickened, not with fear but with hope. A spark of human ingenuity had survived, waiting for someone to find it. As he explored, a series of holographic archives flickered to life. They displayed logs of civilian shelters, hidden arsenals, and maps of escape routes. Every piece of information was a lifeline, every detail a testament to human resilience. Elias realized the significance. The aliens believed they had wiped humanity out completely, yet here in these ruins the seeds of resistance endured. It was a moral victory, a quiet triumph amid devastation. But victory was fleeting. A sudden tremor shook the floor. Dust fell from the ceiling and the lights flickered violently. The creature's glow pulsed rapidly, urgent, warning him of approaching danger. Elias froze, listening. Footsteps, heavy, mechanical, systematic, echoed from the upper levels. The aliens were coming, likely alerted by his shuttle or the creature's energy. Panic threatened to overwhelm him, but he forced control. Humanity survived because of resolve, intelligence, and courage, and he would not fail now. Elias grabbed a small pack and secured the creature in his arms. They moved deeper into the sublevel, encountering more technology, experimental weapons, energy cells, and holographic targeting systems. Each discovery added hope and risk. He realized that these tools could turn the tide against the alien overlords, but using them recklessly could provoke catastrophic consequences. Still, he could not ignore them. Human survival demanded courage, ingenuity, and ethical judgment in the face of impossible odds. As he advanced, he found the remnants of a command console. Holographic projections flickered to life, displaying coordinates of alien patrols, fleet positions, and a faint, blinking signal. Another distress call, this one emanating from a distant human enclave. Elias's heart surged with determination. Every choice now carried weight. He had the creature, he had tools, he had information, but he was still alone. One misstep, and the remaining vestiges of humanity might vanish entirely. Suddenly, the floor vibrated under a deafening roar. From the sublevel above, alien soldiers dropped through shattered vents, weapons trained on him. Elias fired his pulse rifle, creating a temporary barrier of energy while he scrambled to cover. The creature leapt from his arms, glowing fiercely, emitting pulses that short-circuited the alien sensors. Their weapons faltered, sparks flying, giving him a momentary advantage. Heart pounding, Elias realized the creature's abilities were far beyond what he had imagined. He backed into a narrow alcove, panting, scanning the darkness. The aliens regrouped, but Elias had made his first counterstrike, clever and precise. The creature's glow dimmed slightly, almost in relief. He knew this was just the beginning. The aliens would not stop. Every victory would cost blood, every decision could mean life or death. As he caught his breath, the holographic display flickered again. The blinking signal from the distant enclave intensified, now accompanied by a new anomaly, a massive energy signature moving through space, one that the archives did not explain. Elias's eyes widened. The creature's pulses quickened, warning him once more. Whatever was coming, it was bigger than he expected, and he realized with a chill, this was only the first shadow of a threat far greater than the aliens hunting them now. The sublevel lights dimmed as the aliens advanced. Elias's grip tightened around the creature, determination blazing in his eyes. He would survive. Humanity would survive. But the next choice would plunge them both into a danger unlike anything they had faced before. Elias crouched in the dim light, the creature's glow pulsing faintly against the walls of the hidden sublevel. Above, alien soldiers scoured the corridors, their mechanical footsteps rattling through the ruins. He traced the holographic map the creature had provided, following its faint pulses deeper into the labyrinth of abandoned tunnels. Each step brought him closer to something significant, though he could not yet know its full importance. The tension was unbearable, yet he moved with purpose, human determination driving him forward. At the end of the narrow corridor, he found a massive reinforced door, partially buried under rubble. The creature scuttled ahead, emitting a series of urgent pulses. Elias hesitated, hand on the console. The door had survived decades of abandonment, yet it bore marks of deliberate tampering. Someone or something had been here after the initial destruction. With a deep breath, he keyed in the override code the creature seemed to suggest, relying on instinct and intuition. The lock clicked, the door groaned and then swung open. Inside lay a cavernous chamber, lit by flickering power cores that hummed like quiet machinery. Rows of human-designed weaponry gleamed in half-light, experimental rifles, energy shields, and drones he had only read about in archives before the genocide. Holographic projections floated above the crates, displaying schematics of starship targeting systems and orbital defense grids. Elias's chest tightened. This place was a hidden arsenal, a relic of human ingenuity preserved against the aliens' obliteration. He felt a surge of hope. Humanity had not been erased. Not entirely. He moved carefully, scanning each weapon. His fingers traced the cool surfaces, feeling the weight of potential. Here was the intelligence and creativity of a species that refused to die, encoded in steel and light. The creature's glow brightened, hovering near a set of small devices with crystalline cores. Elias realized these were unlike anything he had seen, a power source that seemed almost alive, responding to the creature's pulses. It was as if the arsenal had been waiting for them both, designed for the return of humanity. Then a sharp vibration shook the chamber. Elias's instincts snapped into action. Sensors detected movement, alien patrols above, closing in on the sublevel. He had precious moments. He quickly calculated the risks. Using the creature's energy signature, he could activate a few weapons for testing, enough to defend themselves but not enough to alert the main fleet. Every decision mattered. Every choice carried consequences, and he had no margin for error. Elias selected a small drone and loaded it with a crystalline core. The creature hovered near the control panel, pulses quickening in response. He activated the drone. It lifted, hummed, and then fired a precision beam at a test target embedded in the wall. The impact was clean, precise, and powerful. A micro payoff, a small victory, but it bolstered his confidence. This technology, combined with the creature's unique energy, could give humans an edge they had never imagined. As he worked, a holographic projection flickered to life. It displayed coordinates of surviving human enclaves, hidden throughout the sector. Each site was marked with supply caches, escape routes, and records of resistance cells. Elias's heart raced. The aliens had believed humanity completely annihilated. Yet here, in these forgotten ruins, proof of survival endured. The realization hit him: humans could strike back. They could endure. They could prevail. Suddenly, a low hum filled the chamber. The lights flickered violently. The creature's glow intensified, warning him of something approaching. Elias turned to see the shadows stretching across the walls. The alien patrols had breached the upper levels, searching for intruders. There was no time to hide. Every second counted. He quickly armed 2 more drones, configuring them to respond to the creature's signals. When the aliens entered, the drones activated, firing controlled energy bursts that temporarily disabled their weapons. Sparks flew and the aliens staggered, stunned. Elias seized the moment, moving deeper into the chamber. He stumbled upon a console marked with alien symbols. The creature hovered near it, pulsing frantically. With careful study, Elias realized it contained intelligence on the alien command fleet, movements, communications, and vulnerabilities. His mind raced. The implications were staggering. With these archives, humanity could plan a strike, not blind retaliation but precise, calculated vengeance. He smiled grimly, feeling the surge of human ingenuity and courage. For the first time since the genocide, a path forward appeared. But relief was brief. A sudden vibration shook the ground, louder and stronger than before. The holographic map flickered violently, displaying a massive anomaly moving toward their sector. An energy signature far larger than anything the aliens had previously shown. Elias froze. The creature's pulses became erratic, almost panicked. Whatever was coming was not just another alien patrol. It was something entirely different, something massive, something older. Elias realized the weight of the choice ahead. He could retreat, hide, and survive a little longer, but humanity's chance depended on action, not fear. The creature seemed to understand, nudging him toward the control panels, guiding him to prepare for what might come. The arsenal was more than weapons, it was a test of resolve. The future of human survival rested on decisions made in these moments, decisions demanding courage, intelligence, and unshakable determination. As he activated more holographic projections, a metallic screech echoed from above. The alien patrols had regrouped, more numerous and relentless. Elias braced himself, gripping the creature, eyes scanning the holographic charts. His mind calculated every option: attack, defend, escape, or combine both in a precision strike. The creature pulsed urgently against his chest, almost like a heartbeat syncing with his own. He knew instinctively they were ready. Then the chamber's lights dimmed further. A massive shadow passed across the ceiling, a ship, larger than any he had seen, descending toward the ruins above. The creature's glow flared fiercely, warning him of imminent danger. Elias's pulse quickened. This was bigger than anticipated, far beyond the alien patrols hunting them. Every second now carried mortal risk. Every choice would ripple across the galaxy. Elias tightened his grip on the creature. He had discovered humanity's hidden arsenal, a secret of survival and hope. But now, something ancient and powerful was moving toward them, faster and larger than anything they had faced. The holographic maps showed paths and escape routes, but the anomaly outside loomed over all of them. He swallowed hard, staring at the glowing creature, knowing the next move would define the future. Humanity could survive, but only if courage and intellect combined in a single, decisive action. A shiver ran through him as the chamber shook once more. The massive shadow blocked the entrance and a deep, resonant hum filled the room. Elias realized the coming challenge was beyond alien fleets. It was something that could decide the fate of every living being in this sector. The creature pulsed one last time, sharp and insistent, pointing to the control console. Elias's eyes met its silver gaze and he understood. This was not just a fight for survival, it was the turning point for humanity itself. Elias's heart pounded as the shadow above the chamber stretched across the ruins. The massive alien ship hovered menacingly, its hull pulsing with energy that distorted the air. The floor trembled under its weight, dust raining from the ceiling. The creature's glow flared brightly, almost frantic as if urging him to act. Elias tightened his grip around it, the silver eyes locking onto his. He had no time for hesitation. Every second he delayed, humanity's survival slipped further from reach. He activated the hidden arsenal's drones, letting them hover into strategic positions. The creature pulsed repeatedly, guiding the drone's targeting systems with precision. Elias's mind raced, each movement, each pulse, each decision carried consequences. He calculated escape routes, potential blind spots in the alien ship's sensors, and timing for a precision strike. Fear gripped him, but courage held stronger. Human ingenuity demanded action. The alien patrols from earlier regrouped, now reinforced with larger, armored units. They moved with mechanical precision, weapons raised, scanning for life. Elias fired his pulse rifle, not to kill but to create a diversion, drawing some units into the shadows. The drones activated simultaneously, firing precision bursts that disabled energy shields on the closest patrol ships. Sparks flew. A micro payoff, but he couldn't linger in relief. He sprinted across the chamber, following the creature as it led him to the control console. The holographic displays flickered, showing weak points in the massive alien ship above. Elias's jaw tightened. A single misfire could destroy the chamber and everyone in it. With trembling hands, he began configuring the arsenal's weapons to channel the creature's energy signature into a concentrated strike. Every pulse, every calculation, every instinct aligned. Humanity had survived the genocide, and now it had a chance to reclaim its honor. The alien ship's engines roared. A surge of energy blasted through the ceiling, sending debris scattering. Elias ducked instinctively, shielding the creature. The glowing being emitted a series of rapid pulses, almost guiding his hands across the console. Elias realized it was synchronizing the weapon systems to maximize precision. The drones hovered into attack formation, shimmering under the creature's light. This fragile being, small and luminous, was humanity's secret weapon. Elias's pulse raced as he activated the first volley. The energy beams streaked upward, cutting through the alien ship's hull. The vessel shuddered violently, sparks raining across its surface. The aliens inside scrambled, weapons firing blindly as automated systems failed. Elias felt a surge of adrenaline and relief, proof that human courage, intelligence, and ethical decision-making could turn impossible odds into victory. Then, a massive counterstrike erupted from the alien ship. Energy beams tore into the chamber, shaking the walls. Elias rolled behind cover, shielding the creature with his body. The floor cracked beneath him. Smoke and fire filled the room. Panic clawed at him, but he forced control. Retreat was not an option. Every action mattered. Human survival demanded more than fear, it demanded audacity. He activated a secondary set of drones, each equipped with the crystalline cores the creature had guided him to earlier. The creature's pulses synced with the drones, amplifying the energy and precision. The beams tore through the alien ship's defenses, hitting its core systems. The vessel quaked as alarms blared, its hull cracking. Elias's heart pounded, both exhilarated and terrified. They were winning, but victory had a cost. From the shadows, alien reinforcements poured into the chamber. Elias fired with sharp efficiency, each shot calculated to disable rather than destroy, to survive rather than kill recklessly. The creature leapt between drones, pulsing continuously, disrupting alien targeting systems and providing him precious seconds. Every breath, every heartbeat, was a battle against impossible odds. Humanity's resilience, intelligence, and moral judgment shone in each precise action. The alien ship above shuddered violently. Elias knew the final strike had to succeed. He glanced at the creature, reading its glowing eyes. It pulsed one last, sharp sequence. He keyed in the final coordinates and launched the concentrated energy volley. The beams tore through the alien flagship, striking its command core. A massive explosion rocked the air, shaking the chamber. Elias was thrown off his feet, the creature clinging to him, glowing fiercely. For a moment, silence fell. Dust settled. The alien fleet above scattered in disarray, retreating as the flagship's destruction sent shockwaves through their formations. Elias exhaled, chest heaving. Humanity had struck back. They had avenged the genocide. Tears stung his eyes, not of relief alone but of grief for the countless lives lost, the civilizations destroyed, the innocents shattered. Yet hope remained. They had survived. Humanity had prevailed. Then the creature's glow shifted. It emitted a pulse unlike any before, low, resonant, vibrating through the floor and walls. Elias's eyes widened. On the holographic displays, a new anomaly appeared. A massive energy signature, far larger than any alien ship, moved through space toward their sector. It was older, more powerful, and unlike anything they had encountered. The creature's pulses became frantic, urgent. Elias realized with a chill that their fight was far from over. From the shadows, alien survivors regrouped, glaring at him with hatred. He tightened his grip on the creature, scanning for options. The arsenal remained, ready but vulnerable. The human enclave that could still survive depended on decisive action. Elias felt the weight of every life, every possibility. The galaxy had shown its cruelty, yet humans had endured. The real test was only beginning. A deep rumble shook the chamber. The massive anomaly in space seemed to react, sending tremors through the ruins. Elias steadied himself, eyes locked on the creature. Its pulses were no longer just warnings, they were a call to action. Whatever was coming, it would challenge every ounce of courage, intelligence, and moral resolve humanity had left. Elias took a deep breath, gripping the control console. He had led humanity's first true strike of vengeance. He had faced impossible odds and survived. But as the hum of the approaching anomaly grew louder, he understood the truth. The real battle was only beginning. The creature pulsed again, insistent, guiding him toward the console's next interface. A new path, a greater challenge, a threat unlike any other. Humanity had survived, but the galaxy had not yet revealed its full danger. He glanced at the wreckage around him, the flickering drones, the glowing creature, and the shattered walls. Determination burned in his eyes. Humanity would face whatever came next. They would not cower. They would not surrender. And in that moment, Elias knew that courage, intelligence, and ethical strength, humanity's greatest weapons, would define the next chapter of survival. The anomaly's shadow stretched across the chamber, massive, overwhelming, and waiting. Elias tightened his grip on the creature, ready for the unknown. The next choice, the next action, would determine the fate of everyone remaining alive. Elias stood amidst the smoking ruins of the hidden sublevel, the creature glowing softly in his arms. The alien flagship had been destroyed, its remnants scattered across the skies. The alien patrols had retreated, and for the first time in years, silence filled the chamber, not the silence of fear but of hard-won victory. He exhaled, allowing himself a moment to feel the weight of what had just happened. Humanity had survived. Against impossible odds they had struck back. The creature pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat. Elias knelt beside it, brushing dust from its shimmering form. Its glow reflected in his eyes, a reminder that courage, intelligence, and moral resolve had carried them through. He realized something profound. This tiny, fragile being had been the key not just to survival but to humanity's resurgence. Compassion, trust, and understanding had become weapons as powerful as any technology. He moved toward the holographic console, scanning the remaining data. The archive still held secrets. Hidden human enclaves, dormant weapon caches, and intelligence on alien movements. Each piece of information was a lifeline, proof that humanity had not been extinguished. Elias felt pride swell in his chest. Not pride born of vengeance alone, but of perseverance, morality, and ingenuity. Humans had endured. Humans had shined. The creature guided him to a final set of holographic coordinates. A distant human settlement, untouched, survived in hiding. Supplies, shelter, and other survivors awaited. Elias's pulse quickened. There was still work to do, but for the first time he saw a path forward. Not just revenge but rebuilding, restoring, reclaiming. Humanity could rise again. Outside, the ruins of the city began to settle. Smoke drifted into the sky, and sunlight pierced through cracks in the crumbled buildings. Elias climbed to a vantage point, holding the creature close. His eyes swept across the shattered landscape. Each broken building, each scarred street told a story of loss, but also of resilience. Every life lost had strengthened the resolve of those who remained. Humanity had been pushed to the brink, and yet here they were, refusing to kneel. A faint vibration echoed through the chamber. Elias stiffened. The anomaly from Part 4, the massive energy signature approaching the sector, was still out there. Larger, older, unknown. It had not attacked, but its presence was undeniable, a reminder that the galaxy remained unpredictable, dangerous, and full of mysteries yet to be solved. The creature's glow brightened slightly as if acknowledging Elias's thoughts. Together they had survived one catastrophe, but the next challenge loomed. Elias activated the shuttle, loading the creature safely inside. As he prepared to leave, he glanced at the arsenal one last time. Rows of weapons, drones, and energy cores waited silently, preserved for the return of humanity. He realized that this hidden stockpile wasn't just survival, it was hope. A tool to rebuild, defend, and reclaim lost ground. Every life saved, every act of courage, had created a ripple that could grow into a tidal wave of resurgence. The shuttle lifted off, carrying them over the fractured city. Below, the alien fleets regrouped at the edge of the atmosphere, but they did not pursue. Elias smiled grimly. Humanity had made its first statement. They would not vanish quietly. Every decision, every act of courage had sent a clear message. Humans were not only survivors, they were formidable, clever, and compassionate, even in the face of annihilation. As they traveled toward the distant enclave, Elias allowed himself a brief reflection. The genocide had been brutal, merciless, and devastating. Entire civilizations had been erased. Yet from that darkness, humanity's true strength had emerged. Courage under fire, intelligence that outmatched even the aliens' tactical calculations, and a moral compass that guided action rather than vengeance alone. Humans had fought with heart, not just weapons. They had shown when the galaxy expected them to falter. The creature pulsed once more, sharp and insistent. Elias studied it closely. The signals suggested they were not alone in this region. Other unknown forces had detected their presence, watching, waiting. The anomaly, massive and ancient, had not made its move yet. The galaxy was larger, older, and more dangerous than he had imagined. Yet Elias felt no fear, only determination. Humanity had survived genocide. Humanity had struck back. And humanity would rise again, prepared for whatever came next. The enclave came into view, nestled in the shadows of a rugged mountain range. Fires burned low, smoke curling into the sky, signs of life resilient and defiant. Elias's heart swelled with hope. The humans there were unaware of the vengeance strike that had just occurred, yet their survival meant the next chapter of human resurgence could begin. He touched the creature's silver eyes gently. Together they had navigated impossible odds, and together they would face the future. Landing the shuttle at the enclave's edge, Elias stepped out. The survivors emerged cautiously, fear etched in their expressions. But hope quickly replaced it as he raised a hand, showing the creature and the weapons. Wordlessly they understood. Help had arrived. Humanity was not finished. It was only beginning. Children stared wide-eyed, elders whispered prayers of gratitude, and warriors prepared to defend the enclave. Every life here mattered, every act of courage had purpose. Elias looked to the horizon, the alien fleets receding, the massive anomaly still distant but unmistakable. He tightened his grip on the creature, resolved. The galaxy had tested humanity, and humanity had passed, not because of sheer numbers but because of heart, intelligence, courage, and moral resolve. The next battle would come, larger and older, but he was ready. They were ready. Humans had endured genocide, struck back with precision, and now they would rise. The creature pulsed one last time, sharp and deliberate, almost like a signal. Elias realized it was not just a warning, it was an invitation. The galaxy still held mysteries, threats, and wonders beyond imagination. Humanity's journey was far from over. With courage in their hearts, intelligence in their minds, and compassion guiding their actions, they would face whatever came next. Elias inhaled deeply, scanning the sky. The enclave, the survivors, the weaponry, they were the foundation of a new dawn. Humanity had chosen vengeance, yes, but also survival, ingenuity, and hope. And somewhere in the stars, the massive anomaly loomed, waiting. He smiled, determination burning in his chest. Humanity would rise. Humanity would shine. And the next chapter, greater, darker, and more dangerous, was already beginning.